number?
None.
Okay, number 1, solve the equation for y.
Did you want me to actually like
This is our review assignment.
Oh, that's why it's so long.
Okay, the test will be on Friday, by the way. Does anybody want to volunteer to start? I think we might go around. Okay, Roman?
I got from the first.
Okay, somebody else?
No,
Carolyn?
wait!
Alright.
I thought it was
So you add y on both sides to get rid of the negative?
You could do that, but let's just keep it there.
Subtract 5x.
Not your turn. Okay, if we subtracted 5, you could add y to both sides, yes, to get rid of the negative. Whoops. Or you could subtract 5x. So, now, technically you could put 6 minus 5x, but remember I had you guys put minus 5x plus 6. And then how can we get rid of the negative now, Carolyn?
Multiply, y 5x.
No. How can we get rid of the negative 1? Well, actually, yeah, multiplying by, usually we think of it like dividing by negative 1, but actually multiplying by negative 1 would also get rid of it, right? Because negative 1 times negative 1. All it does, though, is switch the signs. We just need to switch all the signs. So it's positive y equals positive 5x minus 6. That's it.
I do not remember.
Usually we divided the number on the y, so in this case it would be like dividing by negative 1. What's that?
What should I say?
Okay, number 3, this one's a graph.
Oh, already.
I love graphs.
Most of these are not graphs, just a few.
No, most of them are graphs.
Okay, number 3 says, make a table of at least 3 ordered pairs, then graph the equation. What do you think they mean by make a table of at least 3 ordered pairs?
The thing that you do, the XY line.
XY table.
Yeah, that thing.
Then what did we do?
Put numbers in for x.
Okay, I'm going to put in,
Negative, no.
you can put in whatever you want to, but I'm going to use those 3 because they're close to 0.
I like those.
Okay, the equation, the xy is just telling you what the 2 variables are. The equation is y equals x minus 3. So if I put negative 1 in for x, I get negative 1 minus 3.
Negative 4.
If I plug in 0, 0 minus 3, negative 3. If I plug in 1, 1 minus 3,
Negative 2.
negative 2. And I have to graph this. Okay, it's not a...
That's not too bad.
I sneeze. I'm sharpening my pencil.
You can walk with them. That's what it's.
Grant.
Wouldn't it be a line since it's a thing?
Okay,
Fine.
because the domain is unlimited, we could have chosen any x value. It is a solid line, yes. Same thing on number 6. Should look similar. Or 4, I mean.
You want us to use those same things? Numbers?
I don't care. What?
I mean, if you want to make your life harder, you don't.
I mean, you could use like 0, 1, 2. Those would be pretty easy. Alright, number 5.
Which one's easier? Negative 1, 0, 1, or 0, 1, 2? You're confusing me.
Okay, number 5. This I'm thinking you guys might have forgot. It says find the x and y intercepts of each linear equation, then use them to graph. How do we find the x-intercept?
You lost me.
No, that was like the first thing we did, right?
Yeah, this is like less than 1 still.
Oh,
Why is
Here's what you book.
Right. The x-intercept, listen, The x-intercept has a y value of 0.
Oh, I remember this. And then the y
And-
has a x value of 0.
Yeah, this is the x-intercept. And then the y-intercept has a x value of 0.
Yes.
So to find the x-intercept, you have to put 0 in for y, and then solve that for x.
Oh, right.
So if y turns into 0, we have negative 4 times 0 is 0. This goes away. So we just have x equals 4. So 4, 0, that's where it crosses the x-axis. We graph 4, 0.
That's,
Because
I
it's a
remember
four.
this.
Okay, to find the y-intercept, we turn x into 0.
0 minus 4.
So I have negative 4y equals 4. So what would y have to be in this case?
Uno. Negative uno.
Divide by negative 4. Negative 1.
And then we gotta graph it.
I'm just bro. I know you concerned me, okay?
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
Maybe you haven't washed them since dinner last night.
Surprisingly, I actually haven't had pizza for like a
Don't
long
be
period of
about
time.
my mind, Yeah, I kinda like,
You're thinking
That's a broad line.
I missed.
So do I.
what do you mean, so do I?
I meant that I said, he said I missed a line, so I said like I did too.
Nobody would believe me. So, yeah, so do I.
Roman, we don't use proper English.
They weren't very already losing.
We're Americans. We don't speak
Were
properly.
we supposed to? Because I left early and that was chapter 8.
supposed to read it.
And
Okay.
flashcards,
You guys done? Number 7 says find the slope of each line.
Isn't that where we find 2 points on?
Okay. Sarah, do you remember how we found the slope by looking at the picture? Shh. Right. You find the rise over the run. So one of the points is 0, negative 1. What's another point? 3, 1. So Sarah, what would the rise and the run be between those 2 points? Nope. So from 0, negative 1, it's kind of like this one right here, 0, negative 1, and then the next one was 3, 1. How much is it rising? 1, 2. How much is it running? 3. So the slope is 2/3. They're not asking for the entire equation. I think they do that later on though, like 36.
What's the entire equation?
Remember how we wrote the entire equation? Y equals mx plus b. Y equals 2/3 x, and then the y-intercept was negative 1, so we just write that.
Is there a reason why it's M?
I don't know why they used m.
They just decided to
Because
slope
M
it down.
is a word that's not used a lot.
M is not a word.
Okay,
Letter.
number 9.
But A is a word and a letter.
Find, Paxton, do you remember how we found the slope between 2 points that are not graphed? 5, 9, and 3, 2.
Oh yeah, you're like y minus y.
Yep. Y minus y over x minus x. It's called the slope formula. It's right here. Yeah, I think so, probably. I'm gonna be mean on that. So y minus y is 9 minus 2. X minus x is 5 minus 3. Odd.
It's never good when the math teacher says.
Okay, Do you guys remember what happens if you have like 0 divided by 3? What that
Error.
equals? No.
No,
It's undefined.
Zero.
Oh, zero. A zero.
3, oh,
Yeah.
3
right.
divided by 0 is
Undefined.
undefined.
Yeah.
Syntax
Yeah.
error.
So we know.
It's syntax error.
Okay, so this would be a 0 slope. What did a 0 slope look like on the graph?
Horizontal.
Horizontal, undefined slope,
Vertical.
vertical line.
Actually, if I did that on my calculator, it would say error, so
This one would say error, this one would say 0.
it's actually
Okay.
error.
Number 11, same thing. So Linux, how do I set up number 11?
Say error.
You do y minus y over x minus x.
Yep, and what would the y's be on 11?
9 and
9, 9. So, it's 0 over 2, which equals what? 0 or undefined?
0.
0.
Wait, so if I circle 0, what's the answer? What's that
Looks like a donut, yeah.
So basically, zero's on top, it's 0. Zero's on bottom.
It's undefined.
You said bottom.
What?
Yes.
It's gonna be in these sheets and shit too.
This is gonna be a long class period.
I think Jaden forgot to get it.
Okay.
iOS update or something.
13 is another graph. So 13 says we're going through the point negative 4, 2. You guys remember where negative 4, 2 would be at?
Selection 3.
At
Oh, right.
quadrant
Section 2.
2.
Quadrant, that's what I
Quadrant
You did,
2.
you said both things wrong. Quadrant, not section.
Okay, then it says the slope is negative 3/4. So how do I use
Go
that?
down 3. Wait.
Right, 4.
Yes. Only one of them is negative. You can't make them both negative. So it's rise negative 3, run 4. Rise negative 3. So 1, 2, 3, run 4. So the next point would be at negative 1, negative 1. If you do count right.
Negative what?
Negative 1, negative 1.
Wouldn't it be negative 1, 0?
Uh,
Because you run 4.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, you're right. It's 0, negative 1 now.
Imagine if the math teacher had said that one, then you know it's
So wouldn't there be a line?
It's not hard. And then go ahead and do it one more time, just to make 3 points so your line can look better. Down 3 over 4, and then yeah, draw a line.
No, it's got a little mole, and it's got like some hair on it.
Wait.
Wait, what's that?
Go down 3 over 4, and just count yourself.
It's gonna be a really long 30 minutes.
Okay, so on 14, it's kind of the same thing, but it's in slope-intercept form. So where would you start the graph? Oh, never mind, we're not graphing 14. 14, what's the slope?
5 over 6.
5, 6. What's the y-intercept?
Negative 3.
Negative 3, or a little more specifically, it's 0, negative 3. Okay, but on 15, the tricky one, Sophia, do you remember what that line would look like? The tricky ones are when it just says x equals or y equals. Let's talk about that for a second. If it just says like x equals 2 or y equals whatever, negative 1.
Wait, so am I thinking that?
How do we graph y equals negative 1?
It's just.
Yeah.
Negative 1 on the y-axis, okay.
Yeah, you go down to negative 1 on the y-axis and draw a horizontal line, yes. And then x equals 2, you would go to 2 on the x-axis and draw a vertical line. Okay, so yeah, these are kind of the two weird cases. What's the slope of this guy?
Oh, wait, horizontal.
0. What's the slope of this guy? No slope, undefined slope. So on 15, x equals 4,
Undefined.
undefined slope.
Is it just if it's an x equals, it's always
Yes, it's always a vertical line, it's always undefined slope.
an x?
Okay, what is the y-intercept of x equals 4? It would look like this, right? Okay, it does, this is the y-axis. Where does it hit the y-axis?
Never.
Never. So it's just none. The question was, what's the slope, what's the y-intercept? What's the slope, what's the y-intercept? Okay, graph each equation and using slope and y-intercept. So, what's wrong with number 17? Why can't we graph it yet?
Because it's not y-intercept form.
Right, it's not in slope intercept form. Roman and Jaden. So Easton, what do we have to do first? Subtract 3x.
Is that why you want us to put the negative 3x in front of the subtract
Yeah.
6?
So do these two things mix over here?
No.
No.
So it'd be negative 3x.
Okay, that's the graphing problem again. Okay, notice it says -6, which means what?
It's
Has
gonna
to
be
go
down
down
to negative
6.
6.
So you might want to put your x-axis a little bit high if you use a lot of space.
I do.
Okay, so Easton, where do I start out at on the graph? No. Start out by graphing the y-intercept, which is -6. So you go down 6.
And then you go to -3.
Then you go.
Okay, -3 is the what?
Slope.
Slope.
Oh.
Or -3/1. That's the rise and the run, right? So
That is so much more simple than I was thinking.
we're
Can you
gonna
go up 3 backwards.
we're gonna rise. Yes, you can also go backwards. So -3/1, or you could think of it as 3 over -1. But yeah, you're gonna rise -3, run 1, or if you want to go backwards, it's rise 3, run -1. Kind of missed. That's good. I'll get it, probably. Yeah.
How do you know if there's ever not going to be like a line of arrow? What is that?
On this chapter, it doesn't happen. A couple chapters ago, they gave us like the domain is only like these few points. So we only drew. Yeah. A couple chapters ago, they gave us a limited domain sometimes, or maybe it was the last chapter. But normally the domain is unlimited. So it's a line. This chapter, it's always a line if we're graphing. Number 19. Write each equation is a linear function. I can't remember if we did this actually.
I don't think we did function.
No, I think we did like 2 problems, but it's okay.
We should skip them.
No,
There's a huge section on it.
it's easy. Well, relatively speaking. So,
What does that mean?
function form is kind of like slope-intercept form. Function form is like f of x equals mx plus b
What?
instead of y equals mx plus b.
This is gonna
So
be-
all we have to do is solve for y, basically. That's all we're doing. So how would I get y by itself here?
Oh,
Yeah.
subtract 2x.
Okay, then what do we do?
Divide by -3 on both sides.
Remember when you divide, every term gets divided. What's -2 divided by -3?
2/3 x.
9 divided by -3. Okay. So that's slope-intercept form. Here's function form.
So it's really the same thing, just with f of x.
Yes.
I remember that.
We didn't do very many of them.
I just remember like the little.
Probably like 2 or 4 or something. But I did 4 of them.
So you're telling me I don't remember like the basics, I remember that?
Your brain works differently, Roman.
His brain is a little different.
Everybody's brain's different.
I think we have.
See, but my brain emphasizes life choices.
Oh. Yeah, that's why. It's shaved off my brain.
Yeah.
He went too short.
Alright, so 21. Write the equation of each line in slope-intercept form. So we're going for y equals mx plus b here. If the slope on 21 is 2, what do we do with that? We just put that in for the m, right? We're using slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The slope goes where the m is. What do I put for the b? The b is supposed to be like the y-intercept, right?
Yeah.
On 21, do we know what the y-intercept is? Do they tell us?
Yes, -1.
No, that's 20. 21,
Plus 0.
okay, 0, 3 would be where on the graph?
Down, or.
It'd
It'd be.
On the little.
It'd
on
be
the
up
x
3.
axis.
Yeah.
It'd be on the y-axis, it'd be up 3.
Right.
So 3, if they say the line's going through 0, 3, they're telling us the y-intercept must be 3. So on this one, and 20 is just like it, you can just put plus 3. Okay, but on 23 we got a little bit of a problem. So they do tell us the slope is 3/2.
Shut up.
But they don't tell us the y-intercept. All they tell us is that the line's supposed to go through -2. So how do I find the y-intercept? Do you may remember?
Do a graph.
No? You could, but it would take too long. Well,
Y minus y.
no. Okay, what we did is we took the point, we took the point that they gave us and plugged it in over here because this is, any point on the graph is a solution for this equation.
That's right.
So like we plug in -3 for x and -2 for y and figure out what b has to be.
Why can't we just like tell my
-2 for x, -3 for the y, and solve that for b. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
So that's the answer.
No, we gotta solve this for b. This is gonna be the answer right here. But we need to figure out what b is. 3/2 times -3, it's like -3/1 times 3/2 is -9/2. Just do top times top.
Oh,
Do you guys know what 9/2 is as a mixed number? 9 divided by 2.
if I have a calculator, I can figure it
4.5.
Your brain is.
So instead of putting plus 9/2, I'm going to put plus 4.5. It'd be easier to do that, probably. You guys know what -2 plus 4.5 is? Same thing as 4.5 minus 2.
Wait, I mean,
Okay. book probably put 5/2 like the improper form, but anyway, that's the b value. So we need to go back up here and turn b into
So what was the word?
2.5. Probably been a couple weeks since we did that trick.
Yeah. This is one. I'm so thankful the test is on Friday. I was like panicking that it was tomorrow.
Me too.
Why would you think it was tomorrow?
Yeah.
We have 2 days to do the chapter review and then we have the review.
Science test tomorrow.
Damn it.
Alright. 25, this will be our last one for today. So, on 25, it doesn't even tell us the slope. It just tells us 2 points that the line is supposed to go through. -4, 6, and 2, 3.
Was this the same thing as the last problem?
So, how could I figure out the slope then?
Y minus y over x over x.
Alright, slope formula. Y minus y over x minus x. So y minus y, 6 minus 3. Make sure you go in the same direction. If you go left to right on the y's, you have to go left to right on the x's. So I got 3/6, which is,
-1/2.
that's my slope.
Wouldn't you plug in one of the points?
To find the y-intercept, the b value,
Let's plug in the first one.
I need to plug in one of these. Well,
The first one, because the first one has a negative, which would make the -1/2 a positive.
yeah. Oh, these are smaller though. I'll plug this one in. So 3 goes for y, 2 goes for x. What's -1/2 times 2? Alright. 2/1, those 2's cancel out. It's just -1/1. How do I solve that for b? +1. You can kind of check your work on this one by plugging in the other point, -4, 6, and you should still get the same b value. Either way. Alright, you guys got like 16 minutes. I want you to use it. Try to get those evens cut up to 25.
Yesterday I stood up, and I got so